Hello my dear learners, welcome back to online learning platform of Shri Basava Public School. In today's session, we are going to start another interesting story from your supplement reader, It So Happened. Yes, and it is, the name of the chapter is The Fight. Yes children, this chapter has lots of arguments, debates, ill feelings, hitting, abusing and shouting in between two important characters. So in today's session, in this chapter, we are going to study the fight and enmity between the two characters. Those are Suraj and Ranji. The fight chapter has been written by Ruskin Bond. The poet of the chapter, the writer of the chapter is, the story is Ruskin Bond. The important characters are Suraj and Ranji. The very interesting factor of the chapter is the story starts with the great enmity in between two characters and unexpectedly it turns into a best bond of friendship. Yes, how it happens, let's see in reading and explanation session of first part. So listen very carefully. Let's start the reading of first part. Ranji discovers a pool in the forest and plunges into it for a swim. There is serious trouble between him and someone else over who has a right to the pool. A fight ensues. The first round ends in a draw. Children, in first part we are going to see these important incidents or a sequence in the chapter fight. The main important character is Ranji and Suraj. Ranji had been less than a month in Rajpur when he discovered a pool in the forest. It was the height of summer and his school had not yet opened, and having as yet made no friends in this semi-hill station, he wandered about a good deal by himself into the hills and forests that stretched away interminably on all sides of the town. It was hot, very hot at that time of the year, and Ranji walked about in his vest and shorts, his brown feet white with the chalky dust that flew up from the ground. The earth was parched, the grass brown, the trees listless, hardly stirring, waiting for a cool wind or a refreshing shower of rain. So children, first underline the difficult words of the paragraph. First, underline the word wandered, it means walk, room, and underline another word interminably, it means endlessly. Underline the word chalky, it means texture, Texture, texture. Underline the word west, West, it means place, And underline the word stirring, it means thrill. Stirring, it means thrill. And underline another word perched, it means hot and dry. Children, in the first stanza, the story begins with the character Ranji, who had come to spend summer holidays in Rajpur, and it was less than a month from where he was staying in Rajpur, and he was roaming in the forest and searching a pool to dip in that, and he got a pool which was that time it was the high of the summer, so it was too hot and dry at that moment, and still the school was not yet started or opened of the Ranji. So he was not having any friend, and he was not having any friends in the Rajpur where he came to spend his summer holidays. So simply he was walking and roaming in the forest, which is endlessly attracting to him towards it. All sides of the town was endlessly attracting to him, and that it was very hot and very dry. So he was searching a pool to take a swim in that. And when he was walking in the forest, his feet were covered with the dust, and his brown feet were covered with the dust, and he was that moment, the earth was also hot and dry, and trees, grass were waiting for a cool wind and refreshing shower of the rain. So, in the second paragraph, it was on a such day, a hot, tired day, that Ranji found the pool in the forest. The water had a gentle translucency, and you could see the smooth round pebbles at the bottom of the pool. A small stream emerged from a cluster of rocks to feed the pool. During the monsoon, this stream would be a gushing torrent cascading down from the hills, but during the summer it was barely a trickle. Children, in the second stanza, finally that day it was also same climate. That day it was very hot, dry, and he was very tired. And that day he found a pool in that forest, and the water was too refreshing and clear that the pool was completely attracted him towards it, and he can see the kind of describe the beauty of the pool in this paragraph, where he could see the smooth round bubbles on at the bottom of the pool. And after that he just concentrated on the way of coming water. It was coming from the group of rocks from bottom from up. So the water was flowing very nicely, and there was a pool which has a very clear green very clear water on it. Okay, and underline the words, difficult words, sorry, I did not set first itself. First word is translucency. It means clarity, clear. Cluster, it means group of rocks. Other words, gushing, torrent, cascading, all the word meanings trickle were already given in the textbook. You can note it down in your classwork. Especially in the monsoon season, this pool or a stream was rushing very heavily and coming down. It was looking like a waterfall, especially in the summer morning, some monsoon season. But during the summer, it was barely a trickle. Trickle means a thin flow of a water. Next. The rock, however, held the water in the pool, and it did not dry up like the pools in the plains. So, however, the pool was having a little bit of water, and it is not completely dry like other pools. When Ranji saw the pool, he did not hesitate to get into it. He had often gone swimming alone or with friends when he had lived with his parents in the thirsty town in the middle of the Rajputana desert. There he had known only sticky, muddy pools where buffaloes walled and women washed clothes. He had never seen a pool like this, so clean, so cold and inviting. He leapt into the water. His limbs were supple, free of any fat, and his dark body glistened in patches of sunlit water. So children, soon after seeing that, when he saw that pool, he did not hesitate or think for a moment to get in that, because he was often going for swimming alone or with his friends when he was living with his parents in a Rajputana desert. And the pool which he used to oftenly go for swimming, that was not like this pool. The pool which he was going in Rajputana, that was sticky, muddy, not clear, and the buffaloes were washing themselves in that, and also women were washing the clothes. So he had never seen in his life this kind of a pool which is so clean, so cold, and also inviting him. So without thinking a moment, he dipped into the water, he jumped into the water pool, and his arms were supple or covered with the cold water, and his complete body was also glistened in the sunlit water, cold water of the pool. The next day he came again to quench his body in the cool water of the forest pool. He was therefore almost an hour sliding in and out of the limpid green water, or laying stretched out on the smooth yellow rocks in the shade of a broad-leaved sal tree. It was while he lay thus that he noticed another boy standing a little distance away, staring at him in a rather hostile manner. The other boy was a little older than Ranji, taller, thickest, with a broad nose and thick red lips. He had only just noticed Ranji, and when Ranji did not say anything, the other called out, "What are you doing here, mister?" So children, underline the word limped. It means clear. Limped, it means clear. And hostile manner, it means unfriendly. Okay. Sal tree, it means a kind of a tree. Sal tree, it means a kind of a tree. Children, that day he enjoyed the swimming in the clear water, in that clear pool, and he went back to the home. And next day again he came, and he started swimming in the water and coming out and going inside, and also he was taking rest in the rocks which were near to the salt tree. And suddenly he noticed that a strange boy who was staring at him, and the boy was little older than him, and he has a thick body, had a red lips, and he was looking at him with the unfriendly manner. So after noticing that strange man, the Ranji did not reply or ask anything to him. He had not answered him or questioned him. So the strange man, himself, he called him, "What are you doing here, mister?" Then what he replies, let's see in the next page. Ranji, who was prepared to be friendly, was taken aback at the hostility of the other's tone. "I am swimming," he replied. "Why don't you join me? I always swim alone," said the other. "This is my pool. I did not invite you here." So children, when he asked, "What are you doing here?" the boy, who was staring at him, who was looking at him in an unfriendly manner, then he replied, Ranji was completely prepared himself to be friend with him. So he answered very nicely, I am here for swimming. Why don't you join me, brother?" Then he replied, "I always swim alone," said that other boy. "This is my pool. I don't invite you here," he said very angrily. "This is my pool and I did not invite you here." The stranger strode up to Ranji, who still sat on the rock, and planting his broad feet firmly on the sand, said, as though this would settle the matter once and for all, "Don't you know I am a warrior? I do not take replies from villagers like you." Yeah, so the stranger stood up. He was still standing in the unfriendly manner and angrily, and that moment Ranji did not move from that rock, who was completely enjoying and planting his feet into the clear sand, and he did not move from that place. And he asked here, the strange boy asked to Ranji that, "I am a warrior, don't you know? You are so I do not take replies from villagers like you." So, and he also says that I am a warrior and I don't take any replies from villagers like you. Means he is pointing on to the Ranji. Then Ranji replied, "So you like to fight with villagers?" said Ranji. "Well, I am not a villager. I am a fighter. I am a warrior. I am a fighter." They had reached an impasse. One had said he was a warrior, the other had proclaimed himself a fighter. There was a little else that could be said. So children, when he said, "I am a warrior," then Ranji replied, "Then you like to fight with the villager?" "Then I am not a villager, I am a fighter." Then other boy replied, "I am a warrior." Then Ranji replied, "I am a fighter." Then both of them, they proclaimed themselves as a fighter and warrior. Fighter is Ranji and warrior is Suraj. So they were considering them as if they are fighter and warrior. So let's see what happened in the next slide. "You understand that I am a warrior," said the stranger, feeling that perhaps this information had not penetrated Ranji's head. Children, underline this word, penetrated. It means puncture. Okay. "I have heard you say it 3 times, replied Ranji. "Then why are you not running away?" "I am waiting for you to run away. I will have to beat you," said the stranger, assuming a violent attitude, showing Ranji the palm of his hand. So children, after pretending as if a warrior and fighter, the other boy said here, "Then you understand I am a warrior?" Then Ranji replied, "Yes, you said 3 times you are a warrior." Then the other boy replied here, "Then why you are not running away from here?" Children, when stranger said that I am a warrior, you did not understand, and this concept, this thing did not went inside your head still. Then Ranji replied, "I did not understand. I have heard because you repeated it 3 times. Then again the stranger replied, "Then for what you are waiting? You go, run away from here." "Then why you are staying here? Then why you not went out fast from here?" "Then I am waiting for you to run away from here, or else are you waiting for me to beat you?" said the stranger. Then he was speaking in a very violent way, in a great attitude, and also he was showing here the palms of his hand. "I am waiting to see you to do it," said Ranji. "You will see me to do it," said the other boy. Ranji waited. The other boy made a strange hissing sound. They stared each other in the eye for almost a minute. Then the warrior slapped Ranji across the face with all the force he could muster. Ranji staggered, feeling quite dizzy. There were thick red finger marks on his cheeks. So when he said, "Are you waiting for me to beat you?" then Ranji replied, "Yes, I am waiting to see you do it." Then the other boy said, "You will see me to do it? Then you wait and watch." Both of them started to look at each other, and the boy was started to do a strange hissing sound, and they looked at each other for almost minute. Then the warrior slapped across the Ranji's face with very heavy force. That moment Ranji felt quite faint. fainting movement. So that after slapping, he also got marks of his fingers on his cheeks. After that, there you are, exclaimed his assailant. Will you be off now? For answer, Ranji swung his arm up and pushed a hard, bony fist into the other face. And then they were at each other, throats swaying on the rock, tumbling on the sand, rolling over and over, their legs, arms locked in a desperate, violent struggle. Gasping and crushing, clawing and slapping, they rolled into the shallow. So, children, after the slap of other boy, Ranji did not stop himself, and when the boy said him, "Now I bet you, now you can go." And the word assailant, it means a person who will be a person who attacks someone violently. Assailant, it means a person who attacks violently. When he said, "There you are, you want me to do that now?" You said, "So now I did, you can go now." So now both of them he did not stop himself now, Ranji. He too put his all force, and both they started to quarrel like any other animals. So children, they were rolling over the sand, rocks everywhere into the pool and beating each one of them. So the complete paragraph is talking about the bad desperation and violent in between them. Even in the water, the fight continued as, spluttering and covered with the mud, they grouped for each other's head and throat, but for 5 minutes of frenzied, unscientific struggle, neither boy had emerged victorious. Their bodies heaving with exhaustion, they stood back from each other, making tremendous efforts to speak. Now, do you realize I am a warrior?" gasped the stranger. "Do you know I am a fighter?" said Ranji with difficulty. So children, after that fighting for 5 minutes continuously, they were fighting very badly, and each one of them is beating, struggling and holding their hairs, head and every part of the body and beating them very forcefully. So after the violent fight of 5 minutes, they struggle a lot, and no boy has got victory. Okay, so now the body of them started to give up. So they stood back and they took effort to speak. Now they were not fighting after 5 minutes. They took effort to speak, and strange boy said to him that, "Now have you realized I am a warrior?" And here Ranji also not stopped. He too spoke very difficultly, and he said, "Yeah, now do you realize that I am a fighter?" They gave a moment's consideration to each other answers, and in that moment of silence, there was only their heavy breathing and the rapid beating of their hearts. So after saying that, they gave a moment for each other to answer, and there was a silence for a long time, and they only can listen the sound of heartbeats and the breathing. "Then you will not leave the pool," said the warrior. "I will not leave it," said Ranji. "Then we shall have to continue the fight," said the other. "All right," said Ranji. But neither boy moved, neither took the initiative. The warrior had an inspiration. "We will continue the fight tomorrow," he said, if you dare to." So children, after taking a silence, after taking a break, the strange boy asked him, "Then you will not leave my pool?" Ranji replied, "Yes, I will not." "Then we shall continue the fight," said the boy. "All right, we will." Then the boy, after saying that, "Yes, we will," but both boys did not did not took the initiative. So the warrior himself said, given an idea here, "We will continue the fight tomorrow. Then if you dare to come and continue," he asked to Ranji. They was fighting very badly, children. "Then Ranji, if you dare to come here again tomorrow, we will continue this fight, and I will not show you mercy as I have done today." And also he dared him that, "If you dare to come here tomorrow, then we will continue this fight, and I will not leave you, and I will not show you any kindness which I have done today." Who said this? Other boy or a Suraj. "I will come tomorrow," said Ranji. "I will be ready for you." They turned from each other then, and going to their respective rocks, put on their clothes and left the forest by different routes. So after agreeing, he said, "Yes, I will come tomorrow, and I will be ready for your fight." Then after that, both of them went towards their rocks where they kept clothes. They wore it, and they left the forest by different routes. I hope this is the explanation of the first part, children. What happens, whether Ranji will come tomorrow to fight or to challenge him or not, we will see in next session. So thank you so much for watching this video.